lost the last couple in a row, and you would have thought that if Rusty had got a little gap on the field, he might have ran away with it. A little bit like Black Caviar last Friday night. But the tournament organiser Travis told me Sepoy ran very good yesterday in the Golden Sliver, but Rusty's a bit like Sepoy. He would have ran away with it if he had saw any gap whatsoever. So Joel's done very well there. Rusty's hasn't got the best split in the world, but he's got a ball, the all-important ball, and he's very creative. It seems that the couple of the messy reds look like they go in one of the corners, so you might be able to playing out here without too much drama. You might be able to move a couple of the safe-ish reds. He's done that pretty nice. He's still left one safe, but he's got a couple of opportunities to move them. This is him putting out here is probably the reason why he's rated as one of the best players in Australia, and he's in the final of the big guns, so can hold a cue.
One problem is the red next to the black, but he's got enough reds there to develop that if he needs to, I think. This is where shot selection is very important. He can make it easy for himself, or he can make it very difficult. Now, if he rolls this in the middle, he may have an angle on the red he's closest to now to put it in the corner and develop the black. I think he's looking at that, yes. Whether or not he can hold for that angle, I'm not sure. He probably can. He's taking his time, making sure of it, as you would. Yeah, from this angle, it does look that maybe that red's a bit fine to be able to hold it. He might be trying to get this angle right now, actually. I'd say that's what he's done. And he punched the table, not happy. Certainly what he was trying to do, trying to land in the gap between those two reds and play the shot I was just talking about. He might be able to just sort of turn this in with a bit of left-hand side. And it's a good shot, and he's pretty happy with that, I think. You can get into the black and the red here, and he'll have that red next to the yellow with his backup. Always good to have a backup ball when you're developing balls. And unless he might have stuck to that, and he's not happy. Just hit that a bit straight, that red.
Probably couldn't do any harm there, hitting a bit harder than a bit too soft running, and maybe just a little bit harder, and he had to come off the red, but he couldn't go anywhere else if he cannoned into that. The only thing he could do was sit on it, so maybe he played it with a fraction less pace than required, and I think that's a foul.
Yeah, the first red's moved. Yeah.
Trying to figure out if that was a touching ball or not, so we don't know if it's a foul yet. No, it was a touching ball, just had the confirmation. So one shot to Joel on the yellows, and they're all there, so Joel's a good chance to go 7-6 up here. As it stands, it's effectively best of 9.
As a fellow player, I can only imagine that Joel would have been sitting in his seat when Rusty tried to play, for lack of a better word, the Matthew Bolton shot, the cannon, and did not play it up to Matthew Bolton's level. But Joel would be sitting back here now at the table thinking, I was 100% sure I was 7-6 down, and basically got a free shot at these balls. And as we all know, Johl he's not missing these. 7-6 to Johl. He's playing race to 4 for 11,500. I think Johl would. 2 frames ago, I said I think Rusty's going to get this, but if I'm allowed to, I'm going to change my mind.
There you have it. Anything can happen, Brenton. Commentators curse. We've all had a go now. We've all done it. And as easy as it seems, and watching at home and here in the commentator's box, it's not quite that easy when you're out there playing. And that was a lovely Matthew Bolton cannon, as I've just been told. 2 points for that one. And 7 for the black. And that was a big mistake from Johl. So what happens there? What happens there, guys, when you miss a shot like that? What goes through your head? And is it your arm? Does your arm not go through straight? Do you tense up a bit? Your heart beating a bit quicker?
Very unlike Johl to miss a shot like that. We all know Joel's capabilities on the bigger tables, so you would think that his potting is probably second to none in this tournament. Main tour professional snooker player, quarterfinals I think of the World 9 Ball, outstanding all-round cure. So Johl will certainly be very disappointed with that, but you have to remember that these guys have been playing since early this morning to get to this stage, and it's very hard to play mistake-free, and there's certainly a lot of pressure out there, and it's probably the easiest ball that I can remember Johl missing, probably throughout the tournament. But Johl, his temperament is probably one of his strongest points, and I'm sure he'll quickly put that out of his mind and be right back on the job. So we're certainly in for an exciting finish and a great last half a dozen frames or so.
Just quickly before Johl chooses what ball he's on, there's only 2 reasons for Johl missing that. One, he's not giving it 100%, and people at home may say, well, what do you mean playing for that much money? There is a lot of times where you relax and try and not waste some energy in mentally thinking you just roll balls in without thinking. It's not deliberate, it's just what happens. Either that or the length of the day, as Matthew said, can get to you. Doesn't matter who you are or how much you're playing for. The length of the day, race to 11s, and you're playing fantastic players all day long. You don't get a break mentally at all. Even when you're not playing, you're sitting back thinking, shit, I've got him next, or I've got to play him, or wonder who I'll play between him and him. I mean, he's missed that red, but I mean he's got cover, so he's probably getting to the table again. But the tiredness must be cracking in because he hasn't missed as many balls.
So there you go. It's the lapse of concentration and maybe a bit of fatigue creeping in, as the boys suggest. That wasn't an ideal place to land for Rusty. He's definitely on the back foot now. Joel's got a red cover there, but he's got enough balls to get that out if he needs to. And he has just hit the good touch. Good touch. Well,
Ron, if we can just make a special mention of some of the overseas visitors here. There's some guys that have flown out from Ireland. Not for this tournament, but more so for a working holiday party. But there's a couple of fantastic players here. Richie Comiskey and Mark Nugent, who was runner-up to Justin in the Out of Bullets final. And it's great to have the depth of players that these guys have made the effort to put their money up and play in the tournament. Richie was a semi-finalist at Albury last weekend, I believe, in the major tournament that James Mifsud won. And it's great to have these guys over here on holiday, but still prepared to put their cue in their suitcase and fork out their hard-earned euros or whatever they earn over there, and playing the tournament. And they're certainly some highly, highly talented players who apparently are fantastic snooker players. And Richie apparently is a 200-300 break billiard player as well. So it's great to see these guys here, and hopefully they'll play in all these tournaments over the next year or two while they're here.
Just one comment. It sounds like there may be after this match is finished, there could be a billiards match on qball.tv if you want to stay on, between obviously 58-time Australian champion Matthew Bolton and apparently the 200-300 bloke player Richie Kaminsky from Ireland. This could be some interest. What do you think, one?
Well, possibly, Brenton. I don't think there'll be anyone here to watch it, but they're more than welcome to have a game. But just what Matthew said, yes, there's plenty of depth this year, and a lot of the intermediate players are very capable of taking out the pros, and certainly made for an interesting tournament. There was a lot of close results this year, a lot of 11-8, 11-9s. Good players being pushed to the limit, and that's exactly what we want to see. And yeah, absolutely, Matt. It'll get bigger and better. And with guys like you coming over from different Q sports, and it's good to see you guys participate. If we can get international people coming over, then even better. Musty's at the table. We've still got that problem yellow. Well, even if it had gone in, he was in trouble. I think just a couple of nice positional shots here, and Johl can run out the rack. That red near the black spot is black spot in snooker, I should say, closest to the white ball now. It's probably the most difficult ball on the table, but it still passes into the pocket that he's putting the red into now. So he's going to have that shot possibly after this one. He might have a bit of a fine cut on this red in the middle now. He's I would have thought he would have hoped to have get on that red next shot. Might not be possible now unless he plays the double. It's certainly not easy.
If we can just give Joel's snooker room that he's recently opened in Geelong a bit of a plug, Ronnie. Joel, as we know, has been out of the game for a little while, and with business interests on the Gold Coast, and he's moved back to his hometown in Geelong and opened the Slate Pool Lounge in Geelong. And we all certainly wish him all the best with that, and it's fantastic to see a player involved in running a pool room and promoting Q Sports, as have the guys that have organised this tournament, as have Q Ball TV, and I think everyone involved in Q Sports really needs to get behind everyone involved in promoting the game. It's a fantastic tournament to see people putting up their money, and guys involved in running it, Ben Noonan, Travis Crawley, and these guys doing what they can for the sport, which can be hard at times, but I think in a way that the players are leading the way, and hopefully some of the associations and people involved in running our sport can follow suit and really get behind Q Ball TV, and Dan and Kaimo, who just really deserve a hell of a lot more, and the players that have organised this hopefully sends out a message to some administrators out there that the support from the players is there if they are provided with the opportunity to play in major tournaments. And it certainly is the associations and people who are in charge of our sport's job to continually promote and foster the game. And hopefully the big guns and things like that can really act as an incentive for those people involved in our game to organise more big tournaments and put the best players in Australia on show more of the time. because that's what it's all about. And there's a hell of a lot of good players here who aren't in the final stages of this tournament. There's Ron Kelly, there's Justin Sage, there's Brenton Collier, there's James Delahunty, guys that are absolute superstars, and everyone's come here to play in a great event, and it's come down to these two guys. So well done to everyone involved, and in particular Ben Noonan and Travis Crawley for running the event in Prince's Entertainment Centre. And I'm sure all the guys look forward to the next Big Guns tournament. Rusty here, not an easy out at all. I'm not sure where that black's going to go. Maybe the double's on in the middle, Ron?
Yeah, Rusty's got himself back in the frame here, and I think the double's probably the best option. He'll probably come across the table, back into the middle for the double. I don't think he's going to try and break the red and the black up. No, it's a good shot. I just wanted to land on it, and probably nail this 8-9 times out of 10. So he'd be feeling okay about this one. And there's the 1 or 2 out of 10 that he didn't get. So that's a big miss. Joel's still a chance to go 7-all. Is Joel in front? Sorry, the scoreboard's wrong. No, Rusty is 7-6 up. So yeah, thanks, Matt. Yeah, he hasn't left it easy. Good cueing required here off the cushion. And that's a nice shot. They're those little nervy shots late in the match that you're always happy to see go in, because if you had missed that, good chance Rusty would have nailed that black down the rail. Still some work to do. I think if the white ball can finish next to the middle pocket here, he'd be happy. He might be looking to go on the other side of the red, but let's see what type of angle he. It's not too bad. He might settle for the double here.
Well, in my opinion, he'll definitely settle for the double. I played him on Saturday, and if anyone was watching that didn't know either of us, they would have thought, what's this bloke over here playing in the comp for? Because he made me look like a schoolgirl. But the first frame, he's played 2 exceptional doubles, and when I play doubles, I hit him with pace. He rolled them in like he 100% knew it was going in the middle of the hole. I don't think there's any way he plays to get on this ball. He will get on the double all day. Yeah, like he has. And now it's an element of safety here as well, because he's landed underneath it. So the white ball will be going towards the bottom rail. And if you hit it on the underneath, Rusty's going to have a tough shot to finish. I can't see this going anywhere but the centre of the hole. What do you think, Australian Village Champion?
Well, according to your experience of playing him, you'd have to back him to get this, Brenton. And Brenton Collier is not the Australian champion for no reason. He's called that perfectly, folks. Fantastic commentary from Brenton. He predicted the middle of the hole, and he predicted an element of safety, and he got them both right. It's about all he's got right this weekend. Apart from ordering me a bourbon and coke, he got that right. And just while we got a small break between frames, I'll make mention of Justin Sayatron, who won the Out of Bullets comp.
One step ahead of you there, Matt. About an hour late.
Sorry about that, but there might be some people who have fast forwarded this on Cue Ball TV and didn't hear the earlier commentary.
There could also be some people that only started listening once Matthew Bolton and Brenton Collier started commentating, and so this is the first they're hearing of it. So well done to Justin for winning the Out of Bullets / Blancs comp, which we'd call it any other tournament. But I mean, if he was in the final of the main draw, you wouldn't say to yourself, "Geez, that's unbelievable." I mean, he's pretty good. He learnt off Ron Kelly, and now he's better than him. Like he's done amazing. Like to learn off your master and now become the master. That's very good. Any comments on that, Ron?
Absolutely not, Brenton. Thank you very much. Justin's a great player. Although I don't take that seriously. Brenton did say I'm the best player he's ever seen. There's a number of players that could have won this tournament, and Justin is definitely one of those players. He's dynamite. He won 2 Australian titles, and yes, I did practice with him for quite a few years, and he certainly developed into one of the most dangerous players out there, and one of the best for sure. We're at the business end now. 7-7 race to 11. Joel Younger at the table looking to go 8. And oh yeah, the best of 7 for 11 grand. 10-10 would be interesting though, wouldn't it, Brenton?
At home, even if you're going for a certain player, if you're going for Rusty or you're going for Joel, there would be nothing better than having a 10-all after Joel beating Rusty in the first leg to go to get that second chance at him. If it happened to be 10-all, I doubt there's any players besides the previous two, Ben Noonan and Ron Kelly, that have played one frame for more money. I mean, I've played a pub knockout for $20 for one frame. I wouldn't assume as many blokes have played anywhere near this kind of pool. And one frame, that would be amazing to watch. Absolutely amazing.
Yes, it would. And 3 yellows left. I think he's looking at the corner now, but he might be drifting between the yellow and the red and straight into the corner. The other option he's got is to play one of the yellows in the middle and leave the other one for the corner, but he might be going for the corner now. As long as he comes far enough, I think he's okay. I'm not sure how straight he is there, but he might be able to stun across for the corner closest to the white, or follow through for the middle, or stun for the middle. I'm not sure what type of angle he's got. He's not thinking about it too much, so he's probably all right. Yeah, it's a good shot. Eight, 7, Younger. Shouldn't say that. You see some funny things happen. But I'll put my house and my big mortgage on him not missing this black. Didn't touch the sides.
Well, aren't we all glad at home, people, that Ronnie gets to keep his big mortgage in his house now that he won the bet? But 8-7, in all seriousness, you still couldn't pick a winner. The last few frames, no one's actually dominated like either of these two players are capable of doing. It's Joel's break. That's probably his only bonus, and the fact that he's one frame up. But I don't think there's been a break or pot out in the last 4 or 5 frames. I think it would be a big thing here if he could break, get a ball, choose what ball he wants to know, make sure it's the right decision and pot out, and give a little two frame gap in a short race to 4 is a big thing, especially this late at night. Ron?
Yeah, you nailed it there, and he's got a ball. That's all you want to see when you're breaking off and you're close to the finish line. The ball go down, because those dry breaks can really hurt you. Yellows are absolutely fantastic here. shouldn't really be too much of a problem here for Johl, under normal circumstances, that is, of course. But he's been there before, and even though he has tightened up a couple of times during the match, champion players tend to do the business at the business end. So I think he'll run out here, Brenton.
I totally agree here. I think in the room there's no one with more world experience or big time experience. Straight away.
Commentators curse again.
Straight away, I've killed him, but he's good enough to just get himself out of this with a nice pot position shot. But he has got some world experience that the rest of us can just dream of, and the only way you get this is in the big situation needs. He comes in and pots the balls. These aren't too bad. The situation for me says he's out. He's got a very nice kiss there. The only doubt, the black goes in the corner like it did before. The yellow goes in the same corner that he would have played it in anyway. The only difference is the yellow on the back rail, he would have liked at the top of the table. He would have been playing that the second shot, and that would have been on the bottom of the table.
Yeah, well, it's just got harder for him, Brenton. He's just played 2 shots loosely. He's played 2 shots there that he didn't play the way he wanted to. So the next 5 shots, they're not going to be easy. No matter how easy they look, he's not going to be thinking they're easy, that's for sure.
I totally agree with you. The way he would have been going out was knocking that ball on the top rail, and then you're dealing with one half of the table, and it's a lot easier to move around. Now he has to play a shot and get up to the top of the table and then come back down again. It's a lot of movement which you wouldn't have wanted to play, and there's a little bit less room to get on balls that you had plenty of room before. So you're right, and he's played 2 shots which could get in. He's played this poorly. Rusty, I haven't seen what Rusty's reaction to that is, but I would assume that he is extremely happy with what's just happened here. He would have been thinking 9-7 down run.
Yes, he would, and one loose shot can turn into a few. So if Rusty gets to the table on this frame, he'll be more than happy. And it's sat over the hole. Still favourite. Rusty under the pump straight away. He's under pressure here, but all you can ask for when the yellows are sitting that nicely is a shot and a chance, and he's got that chance now, so let's see what he can do with it. Can only see one. There's only one pot that I can see, and that's the red in the corner, top left corner pocket, obviously. Bit of distance between the white and the red, and it's not an easy shot, but it's a shot. And that was, I'm not sure what that was. Looked like he rushed that, didn't it?
Sometimes I reckon he's got a shot, so he's extremely happy to get a shot in that frame. But you also look at the table with the yellow at the bottom corner covering the 2 near the black, which are awkward, the 3 on the side of the rail. I think instead of thinking exactly what he was going to do, he's more just got down and thought, I'll pot this big ball and try and build from there. And sometimes when you go too quickly, you don't give it everything that it deserves. And
yeah, well, he certainly didn't take his time over that shot. Rusty, that is. So we're back with Johl now anyway. That yellow, I'm sure, passes to the corner. It may pass to the middle, but it'll be tight. But again, because of those shots that he executed poorly before, these shots are not easy. They might look it, but they're not. Everything starts looking a little bit different when you play a couple of bad ones, and moving that white ball around becomes a little bit harder. But if you come back around the 2 cushions and get nicely on the yellow, I mean, it's only one good positional shot, but it's not easy.
The only thing about this shot is if you're not exactly where you want to be, this shot does get hard. This shot does get hard because if you're not perfect, the white ball's coming into the red and the black at the same time if you're underneath, and all of a sudden you're moving balls.
Yeah, a couple of guys at home are saying yes, bottom left-hand side, bit of drag, bottom left, and yes, that's obvious. But what I was saying is that this ain't easy under the circumstances. And there you go. It's perfect example. It's not as easy as just playing bottom left and coming around angles or holding for the middle. And I suppose anyone who's played under this type of pressure or in these circumstances would understand. That's a brilliant shot. And they're those recovery shots that can win or lose your match. And Joel's played an absolute pearler there. It wasn't pretty, but it was effective.